Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 3, Episode 23, Mavic Air 2, Fimi X8 SE 2020 updates. Billy Kyle is not here tonight due to the unfortunate situation going on in Philadelphia right now. He had to postpone. He's fine. It's just business related, and he will be here next Monday. I don't know if you know these two guys or not. I may need to introduce them to you. No. Marcus, how are you this evening?
Darn good, Bill. It's going to be tough. Ron and I are, no way can we truly fill Billy's shoes, but we will have a good conversation this evening.
That's true. That's very true. Ron, how are you tonight?
Good, and I don't know about Marcus' statement. I wear a size 11. I may, I may wear a bigger shoe than Billy does, but no. Where's Billy? I came here to see Billy.
Yeah, well, Billy's having to meet with some business people tonight because of he hasn't been able to film his stuff, do his property filming because of everything going on in Philadelphia right now. So, our thoughts and prayers are with everybody, and just please be safe. That's all I have to say regarding that. That's all we're going to do, because I've kind of like had overload on that today as well. We got a lot to talk about tonight. I hope you guys had a chance to catch Sally French last night. Sally's an exceptional person, and she is just a great and one of the best ambassadors for drones out there, period. Surprisingly, she doesn't have her Mavic Air 2 yet, and I was able to pass on some tips to her. So, that was good. It's always good to talk to her, and she was in excellent spirits last night. Great show, Sally. Thank you again so much, and we really value. Please get me your address, because I got something that I want to send to you from Bill the Drone Reviewer. Tonight we got on the table. We're going to talk a little bit. First, we're going to talk about the Fimi X8 SE 2020, some ordering updates and some information. There's been a lot of things going on with that, so I thought I wanted to kind of make sure that everybody's clear on this. Get everybody clear on the coupon codes as well, because there's been some confusion on that. So I want to clear that up. And then there's a great accessory that, if those of you who have ordered it, that I highly recommend. It looks great from everything I've seen, and it's on Amazon, and we'll show that. Then we'll get to talk a little bit. We'll talk some about the Mavic Air 2 and what we like about it. And Ron said one word, everything. So Ron's already given his answer for tonight. So, but first we're gonna talk about the Fimi X8 SE 2020 a little bit. Now, there's been a lot going on with Banggood. And I know both Marcus and I, it's kind of like we want to do one of these when we're because we're affiliates, and we kind of like want to do one of these when we're looking at our numbers, because we're just afraid, because a lot of people are canceling their orders. All right. So this is what we know as of right now, just to kind of like clear the air, because I know there's a lot of people posting a lot of information out on the group page, and I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page as this. Okay. A lot of people have canceled their orders because they've received notices, they've received emails from Banggood, and a lot of them have ordered from AliExpress, and supposedly AliExpress will be shipping, and I've seen some information on that. My advice to you is this, okay, is hang on, because from what I'm hearing, this is going to be sooner rather than later that these drones get here to the U.S. warehouse. And Ron and Marcus know this as well, okay? When you're dealing with Banggood, when you're dealing with GearBest, okay, these kind of things are going to happen. So, the best thing I can advise you to do is to be patient, okay? If you can, because you've gotten a great price, okay? The price on these drones was fantastic, all right? Now, what I did was I ordered a second one, all right? And I ordered it from the Chinese warehouse, and I actually have information on that I'm going to share with you guys. Marcus, what are your thoughts regarding all this?
Well, here's what I'm going to say. It's really easy, Bill, for you and me to tell people, hey, wait, because we've got drones we can fly, right? We have other drones, and we can go out flying whatever we want. Now, I perfectly understand if you're somebody that you don't have a drone and you really want to go flying, and you're looking at month after month, good weather, it's disappearing, I can understand why that person might cancel that order and buy a Mavic Mini or a Mavic Air 2 if they can afford it, that they know that they can get, within a week or so. But just like what you said, when you order from Banggood or GearBest or any of those Chinese websites, patience is the key because, we've talked many times. My first Fimi X8, the 2018 version, it took me 5 months. I waited 5 months to get that drone. Now, I don't think this one is going to take that long, but it's just worth mentioning that. In fact, I'm trying to think of any time I've ever ordered from one of those Chinese retailers a drone that it's actually got here on time, that it hasn't been a wait of months. From the Hubsan Zeno, all of them, I can't think of one that actually got here on time. So, yeah. Ron, how about you? What are your thoughts on that?
Thank you, Marcus. No, we talked about this a little bit off air, maybe last night or over the weekend. And Bill says, asked for what advice we give people waiting on orders. If you're like the three of us and you have a whole room full of drones, just sit on the original order at that great price of. What was it, Marcus? At one point, you get it for a little under $350.
Yeah,
and then some people you got $299 with the winning the contest. So if you did that, and you have a whole room full of drones. Just wait it out. It will get here eventually. But it could be July, it could be August. But as Marcus said, if you have no drones at all, your only drone. Hold on, pause here. If your only drone is something like this right now at this point, don't wait for summer to be half over, almost over before the Fimi X8 2020 gets here. Go out and get yourself something you can fly next week. If your budget doesn't for the Mavic Air 2, which is the I'm going to call the affordable drone I recommend now, but also that's the higher end of the affordable drone. Just get your refund, go down to your local Best Buy if it's in stock, buy the Mavic Mini, and you'll have a great summer flying. You'll get a lot of great video, a lot of great pictures, and you'll be trouble free. So that's my advice. If you don't have a good set, if you don't have any drone at all, your current drone is this drone here. Cancel that order, go down to Best Buy, get the Mavic Mini. But again, I emphasize, if you have a whole bunch of drones, or if you live in a place where Bill does, where maybe you have good weather to fly all year round, that's a different story. But here where I'm at, summer's just getting here, but in a couple months, it'll be gone, and fall will be here, and the winds and the rain will start, and I have to get the drone then it kind of just is, I get it out once in a blue moon flight. So anyhow, that was a long-winded answer. Sorry, Bill. Throwing it back.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Hey, well, Bill, I just was going to say, I wanted to let you know I have those codes ready to put in the chat whenever you want.
Good, yeah, and I'm going to bring that up on the screen. Now, first thing I'm going to share on the screen, somebody had posted this today in the group, and this was real. It's some encouraging news here, okay? And this was on Banggood's page. All right, this is note: sorry for delayed delivery time for the pre-orders in overseas warehouse due to suppliers' delay in delivery and long transport time from CN China warehouse to overseas warehouse by sea and railway. Boy, they love their run-on sentences. Anyway, about 3,000 pieces X8 SE 2020 are in transit to overseas warehouse so far, and most of back order will be processed in June. Thanks for your support. So that is at least some good news that they are coming, that they will be here. So those of you that have ordered from the U.S. warehouse with a date of July 10th, I think that's going to be a good date. I think you may get them a little bit sooner. I wouldn't count on it, but I would say July 10th is probably going to be a good date as far as that's concerned. Okay. Now, Marcus, go ahead and you can drop those coupon codes in the chat. Now, there's a coupon code for the U.S. warehouse, and I have it up here on the screen, and Marcus is going to drop it in the chat. BG Fimi X8 SE 20, which is really easy for U.S. And the one for the Chinese warehouse is BG X8 SE 20 419. And who knows what 419 means, but those are the designations for these codes here. So I wanted to make sure that everybody had a chance to get that. And thank you for dropping that in the chat, Marcus. That's good.
Hey, Bill. So we probably want to be clear on what that brings those prices down to. With
yes, please,
in the US
please.
warehouse. Have you got that or? Yeah.
No, go ahead, go for
Well,
it.
in the U.S. warehouse, it brings it down to like $379.79, something like that. The Chinese warehouse, it brings it down to like $419. You know what? I'm gonna say even at $419, that drone is a good buy.
Absolutely.
It's not a great buy like it was at 350, but it's still a good buy. So yeah. Anyway, that's the choices, and there's the codes.
Now, what I wanted to share here too a little bit also is some additional information. Fimi actually put out a couple of tutorials on the SE 2020. One is on updating firmware via Fimi Nav 2020 app, and the other one is updating firmware via the micro SD card. And I'll drop links in the description so you guys can go ahead and check those out. They're very short. They're about 2 or 3 minutes, but they're actually not bad. That's the first time I've actually watched a tutorial from Fimi. I was actually pretty impressed. And they do have other ones from the original, from the 2018 version as well. So I definitely suggest you guys check them out. There are several of them here. So
can I add to that one, Bill?
Go for it.
So if everybody remembers when I got my 2018 Fimi X8 SE and a prop disintegrated, first flight, prop disintegrated, and it crashed. I was lucky, didn't really hurt the drone much. But literally the next day, Fimi posted a video, and it's one of these videos that they have on there, and they were talking about inspecting your props to make sure that those screws were all in there. And then they were telling you, this is one that'll get you. You know, there's a lot of people that have had problems with the legs cracking and breaking, and they very carefully were instructing people to inspect the legs on their drones. So it's pretty clear they knew they had something going on.
Well, you know, that's ironic, but I think those are excellent tips, Marcus, to pass on to people. Is, you know, before you go out for your first flight, check to make sure that those screws are tight on all the props. I mean, I watched Marcus's video and I just like, oh no, you know, I saw him and I was just like, oh my gosh, you know, when the first time he flew his Fimi X8 SE, and you know, it was like one of those, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, but thank goodness it really didn't do damage to his drone. He was he will be the first to admit he was very fortunate with that.
Oh, lucky. Yeah.
And lucky. And also to the legs. I mean, you know, I would say you want to inspect them before and after every flight. I mean, that's just something that we're going to go forward. Do you think it? And here's a question for you, Marcus: is it going to be different on the 2020 version or not?
So with regard to the legs in particular, I think the legs are even more important than those props. I think what happened to me with the props was more of a one-off situation, a manufacturing error, no doubt, but I haven't heard a lot of those. But what we have heard a lot of is people with the 2018 version, particularly flying in sport mode, that an arm will break and the drone will crash. So it is, I think, imperative that you inspect the legs on that drone and be careful of really abrupt maneuvers while in sport mode, because it's a very powerful drone. That said, I wouldn't let it stop me from enjoying the drone, but if you inspect them every flight, just so that you know you don't have a crack starting in one of the legs. And I actually had a commenter on one of my videos kind of warn me. He said, Marcus, he goes, I crashed my drone, he said, because of those legs. And I had loaned my drone out to Ron, and as soon as it got back, I inspected the legs, and sure enough, there was a start of a crack on one of the legs. I epoxied it, and it's fine, but I just think it bears mentioning that's just one of those things that you want to keep in mind with that Fimi.
Absolutely, and
let me add that I did hot rod that drone all over the place, and
I did, Ron.
Yeah, Ron Brown, hot rodder at heart. We all know how Ron likes to hit the pedal to the metal.
I took it down to drag races.
That's right. That's right. Well, the drag racing expert is in Idaho in this panel. That's for sure.
Mhm.
One of the other things is to let you guys know, parts are available for this. Unlike trying to get parts for a DJI drone, which is kind of like pulling teeth sometimes. They are available on AliExpress. I know I've seen legs out there for the Fimi X8 SE to purchase, and they're not horribly expensive. So, but have to know what you're doing and being able to repair drones like that to put those on. Because there's wires involved and maybe soldering. I'm not sure. So, but they are available. So just to kind of let you guys know something like that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to go and share tonight too is I found it, and now they're under a lot. They say it's currently unavailable. I kind of lucked out on this. It's by YX Intelligent Charger, and there's a bunch of different names that they go by. Now this is available on Banggood. It's available on AliExpress. I found it luckily on Amazon and was able to get one of the last ones that they had there. Now you're able to charge up to 4 batteries, a smartphone, and also your controller at the same time on this. Now it did say, and one of these things, and this is something that I can't emphasize enough, because I've heard people say, oh, I left my batteries on my charger, went out to dinner or something, and then, a disaster happened or something. Let me tell you this, and this has been my rule since day one in flying drones. When I'm charging these batteries, and I don't know about you guys, but when I'm charging batteries, it's like Valerie has a rule. Anytime that stove is on, okay, we have to be home. Like if a roast or something is in the oven, we don't go out, okay? The roast has to cook before we leave. I mean, that's her rule. And I like the rule. I mean, it makes sense. So it's the same thing with this for me, because, these batteries basically have chemicals inside them and can cause, fire and things. And, just for grins and giggles all the time, I always am home while these are charging. And
no, I got the same rules as you do.
Good, Ron. Those
for
are
the oven and the batteries.
You good? See, yeah. It's
I
like
put my batteries in the oven.
You put your
Then if they explode, they're safe.
375 for 45 minutes. Okay.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that, everybody.
Hey, Bill, take a quick time out here in the comments. Go to Chris K about like maybe 20 comments back, and he talks about his Fimi, his order from the U.S. warehouse, and he expects it to arrive on June 8th.
Okay. There we go. My Fimi shipped from USA warehouse order April 15th, and also is by Banggood. Surprisingly expected ship date of May 29th. Will arrive June 8th. That's fantastic, Chris. Thank you for sharing that. Now, what's ironic, I know, Marcus, when did you order your Fimi?
April 4th.
Okay, I ordered mine April 12th. And see, in Marcus, and we were talking about this last night on Xeno Nation. And Chris, thank you for sharing that, and thank you, Ron, for calling that up. But what was interesting was we were talking about this last night, and like Marcus said, it doesn't make any rhyme or reason. People ordered after us are getting it before us, and just it's all messed up. I mean, there's no pattern or logic to this at all.
Maybe Banggood has the same distribution people that used to work for GearBest.
Yeah, probably.
On the Xeno 2 release.
Hell, they could be the same company for all we know.
That I wouldn't doubt. Marcus brings up a good point there. They may use the same kind of company to handle customer service, because I'll tell you what, the reps from Banggood and the reps from GearBest are just almost like exactly the same.
What would you rate them, Bill, on your Bill the Drone Reviewer scale?
On a scale of 1 to 10, they'd probably be about a -10. Okay. They wouldn't even how that old saying is, I'd beat him down so bad he'd have to raise his hand up to the curb kind of thing. Okay. They couldn't even see out to see the curb. Okay. That's how bad that is. Right. It's like every time you talk to them, it's an I'll tell you what.
And you say talk, you mean mostly emails or
yeah, chat, really chat. their chats are just fantastic, because one time you get on, they'll tell you something, you mark it down or take a screenshot or whatever. Next time you get on, they'll tell you the exact opposite. It's just, it's like there's no rhyme, there's no reason, and they will tell you anything to make you happy. Okay. Well, okay. Here's the thing. I asked them about my order. I was on the other night. This is like last week sometime, and I asked them about my order, and I said, okay, can you tell me when it's going to ship from the U.S. warehouse? And they said, well, no. Well, they said, okay, we'll give you 8,000 Banggood points. They said 8,000, okay? And I'm like, okay, that's pretty good, because that's like $80, all right? And I said, sure. For waiting patiently, I said, sure, I'll take them. Well, no, we meant only, I put too many zeros. I meant 80, and I'm like, come on, pal. Don't be doing this to me.
Plus, if you got the 8,000 points, you can only use a certain amount of points per item. So it's not like you're going to get something for free. Like if you ordered a $300 drone, maybe you could use 1,000 of those points or whatever. So it's only going to take a little bit off. And listen, go back in the chat real fast. Sam Burns brings up a question probably a lot of people have asked, and it spun by real fast, where he wants to ask Krish if any, if he used a coupon, because he said it seems like anybody that used that coupon, they're the ones that are not receiving their drones.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Krish, that's a good question. If you could answer that for Sam. Look, for Krish, they gave him 800. Okay. And I'm like, they were offering me 80, Krish. Okay. I mean, I'm like,
Yeah, he said he used the coupon.
But Bill, if they gave you 8,000 points, you would have never been able to use them. They would expire. Some of that would expire.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you went the shopping spree, that was unprecedented. Because you would only be able to use so much per item. You would have never used them all.
Yeah, it would have taken me forever, and they would have expired. You're right. They would have expired by the time I could have used them.
Unless you order a drone every day of the week.
I would be ordering a drone every other day, and we'd be having giveaways on.
You have a whole house full of drones like this.
Yeah, the Eachine E58. Yeah, that was a real winner.
Actually, they say I flew for a few minutes in the backyard. They say this one flies real good.
They must have put they screwed. Mine was so bad, it took off, boom, pancake every time. So I switched the props on it, same thing, pancakes all the time, and I'm like, see you later.
The L2 hole worked perfectly. It held right whatever I popped it at 2 or 3 feet in the air. It stayed there and didn't move.
I've had, except, the only one I've had be able to get up successfully for any length of time, all right, was our golden egg buddy, okay?
I was able
to get him up, okay? Well, you know what? I need to find...
I must have the new firmware on this, Bill.
Well, okay. Well, you know what? I need, that golden egg is still sitting here, and I need to find somebody to send this to, okay? So, let me throw it out to anybody out there in the States, because I'm sorry, nothing against my friends overseas, but it's incredibly difficult to mail things.
And
right.
I would never get there anyways. They'd have it next year anyways.
You would probably get it, yeah, like Ron said, next year. So anybody that would be interested in the golden egg, you can take a look on my videos, okay? You can see I had Valerie's help with this. So
all three of us made a video with that.
All three of us took the walk of shame, okay? And you can take the walk of shame with Ron and Marcus and Bill the Drone Reviewer, okay? There's no shame in that.
We need to add the caveat, though, Bill.
Okay.
If somebody gets it's just temporary.
Right.
They have to ship it off then to somebody else.
Pass it on. Yeah, I see.
Put their name on the list.
Bill's been hoarding it, okay? And Bill's not going to hoard it anymore. So anybody that wants it, and here's the thing, email me at billthedronereviewer@gmail.com with your address, okay? I'll pay for shipping, and it'll come to you in excellent condition.
And you make a video about it, and we'll show it we'll show a clip of it during the show
during Rotor Talk Live.
Yeah.
And probably Xeno Nation will
drop the link and get you more subs and whatever. Hey, go to the chat real fast again. Lauren put a comment. He said, "At Ron, I have such a deal for you. You won't believe that."
That's exactly right.
Which deal do you think he's referring to? The Fimi deal?
I think he's making fun of you, Rod, because you were liking that Ishin drone. I think that's
okay.
Yeah.
Well, it looks just like a Mavic. Actually, it looks just like a Mavic Pro 1, Bill.
Yeah, it does.
There's a micro version.
Okay. Here's one other thing I want to share, and I thought this was actually kind of comical. Okay. Now, I did get a shipping notice for my Fimi X8 SE 2020 from the Chinese warehouse, and I want to share this.
And is that worth the paper it's printed on?
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. But here's the thing that I had to laugh. Package has been sterilized and shipped out, okay?
There you go.
Free sterilization.
You wouldn't have seen this in 2019, guys, okay? We're in the age of the coronavirus, and it's been sterilized and shipped out, all right? That just kind of really floored me on this one, all right?
And did you see the news earlier this week? Now the I'll say the scientists, they don't believe that the coronavirus passes a lot by on objects by touching. They think that's the least likeliest way you're gonna get the corona is by touching something.
And there, my wife and I, when we get our groceries, we've been wiping them down. We have a rag, we soak it with bleach water, and we've been wiping all our groceries down.
Bill, remember what they used to say when we were young? Better safe than sorry.
That's right. That's right. So
okay, anyway. I want to make you guys jealous for a second. My wife just brought me some hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, Sarah,
yeah.
Sarah, you need to ship them to Florida and to New Jersey too. Okay,
and they've been sterilized also, right, Marcus?
No doubt about it.
They're safe. They're safe to eat.
Yeah.
Definitely safe to eat.
Everybody, a growing boy needs a little food to get him through the show, right, Marcus?
Oh, and I'm growing all right.
Now, I have to. You know what? This is the interlude time. This is between segments here. So I thought I would share a picture of my beloved granddaughter. Okay. Now this was the latest picture I got from my daughter, and the shirt says on it, "I whaley with whale love my daddy." Okay. It doesn't get any better than that, guys. That is just absolutely fantastic.
It doesn't get any better unless it's "I love my grandpa" or something.
Yeah. I need to get her a grandpap shirt. That's for sure. So I thought I'd share that with everybody. Kind of like there's just so much garbage going on right now in the news. Just want to try to get something kind of lighthearted. Everything.
Oh, good. I thought you were going to say my drone was garbage.
Well, no, Ron, I would never say that. Not because I just threw that out in the trash. Okay. I was asking, this was funny. I had Rick Smith on. All right. And I told him I had that. And he says, "Bill, you know what you do with those kind of drones?" He goes like this, boom, and just throw them in the trash.
Now, before we get too off on this, now Ryan Duvall over at RD Drones Review sent this to me for review. So big shout out to Ryan's channel, and I bet you he got more views on his review of this than I get my average drone video.
Well, Ron, because you're on, we'll get the word out about you testing the Ishin E58. I mean that, you'll get thousands of views on it that way.
What we call go viral.
That's right. It'll go viral. Yeah, it'll pass up. You'll pass up Casey Neistat.
But the bad news is I got a whole box full of these things that I have to test and whatever. This is just the tip of the iceberg. But I know I'm disrupting the show here, so let's get back.
No. This is the interlude time.
Scheduled programming here and get off the This Week in Ishin.
This Week in Ishin by Ron Brown. Switching gears.
I hate to say it, but I think Ishin's a Banggood house brand.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, Ron.
Our favorite shipping company.
Oh yeah, tell me. Yeah, painful. painful. All right.
I think we touched this a little bit the other night. I think just even going back before the coronavirus, it seems like the stuff coming out of China, and it may have first started with the tariffs, and I'm just theorizing here or whatever, but it seems like all drone deliveries have slowed down to a crawl. And let me just say, not drone, anything you're ordering from companies like Banggood and GearBest has slowed down to a creeping halt ever since the tariff thing of last fall, and the coronavirus has made it even slower. So I think it's all shipments from China, like from these type of companies, have all come to a screeching halt or whatever. And I don't, I mean, we can guess some of the reasons, but it's not just Banggood, it's not just GearBest, it's them all, it's all of them.
That's right.
Even if you order something from Amazon and it says it's shipping from China, the same thing. It'll warn you. It'll give you this long delivery date, like a month or two away. But even when that gets there, it's still not there. So it's all over coming out of China. So
yeah, it's anything coming out of China, especially right now. You can expect a pretty massive slowdown. One more thing before we get on to the Mavic 2. I said, you know what, Ron? You and I need to make sure of something here. We need to see if we can get Sarah to cater hors d'oeuvres to you and I while we're either on Monday night or on Tuesday night here.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Maybe we can get it delivered by drone.
That's right.
By drone, it'd probably be stale when it got to you.
Yeah,
we'd still eat them. Is what had happened.
We'd still eat them though.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, Brian, TDR Drones in the chat is he got a hold of me or left me a message the other day talking about the shipments coming from China, and they virtually are all going on container ships. So that's part of what's taking so long. Some of the stuff that used to come air freight is now all on container ships. So, I mean, I'm sure that must take a minimum of a week and a half and probably 2 weeks. And then if you think about the time that it spends in port and in those containers, once they get offloaded, they have to go through customs and everything else. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Marcus, and thank you, Brian, for putting that up. All right, Mavic Air 2. We've been trying to get to this for a few minutes, okay? We've seen a lot of videos out there, and I know Ron has done a lot. I know Marcus has done a lot, and I was gonna, and this was funny. I said, and I told him when we were going over notes before we started the show, I said, I want you to kind of give me your top 5 favorite things about it. Ron said one word: everything. Okay, so Ron's already answered the question. Ron's already answered the question, but we're gonna go to Marcus and then Ron and myself. 5. If you get more than 5, that's fine. But if you can list 5 things about the Mavic Air 2 that you think are just incredible, go for it, Marcus.
Okay, so of course the HDR video is phenomenal. It really captures the low light situations and keeps from blowing out the highlights. Really works very, very well on that drone. Secondly, I'm going to say flight controls. The flight controls are phenomenal on that guy. And the way I describe that is anybody here that has a Mavic 2 Pro or Zoom, what a step up that was from the original Mavic Pro. That was a big step. I would say that the Mavic 2 Air is half a step above that, if that kind of gives you an idea. It's just a little bit smoother, a little bit more accurate. Next, I would say I do like that controller better than the old controller because of the placement of the of having your phone right there up above, and it's not blocked. You can get to everything on the phone, and then the active track is extremely accurate on there. And I'm not going to say that it's as easy to use as the Skydio, Ron, but it is easier to use than I think it was on the Go 4 app. It's because it's right there. You just draw a square around yourself, and it brings it up. And geez, then the obstacle avoidance is not as offensive as it is on the as it was on the Mavic. In other words, it doesn't beep as loud. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not the sharpest pencil in the pack, but I watched Ed Ricker's video today, and I understood what all those colors are now at the top of the screen and at the bottom of the screen when it is in obstacle avoidance. That tells you where the obstacle is at. You see that little orange at the top of the screen, and it will show where it's seeing all the obstacles. Same thing in reverse at the bottom of the screen. Sometimes you'll see a little orange bar down there. That's the obstacle the drone was looking at.
Wow.
I just always thought that was something weird on the screen.
I learned something new tonight, Ron.
Yeah. I watched that video too, and I had no idea. And I never ever recall seeing those colors. Is that something that's enabled from the get-go, or is that something you have to do in settings?
As long as you've got obstacle avoidance enabled, it'll be there, Ron.
Yeah, I think I have obstacle avoidance enabled, but I have to go in and study that. But again, that was a great catch by Ed, and I'm glad you brought that up. And I don't want to butt in. Are you finished?
I'm done. That's my 5. It's your turn, Ron.
Well, I agree with everything Marcus said, so I'm not going to repeat the things he said because I agree with them all. I'll get more points in it if I just don't repeat his. And just real quick before I get my points, and sorry, I got a little bit of a throat here. When you mentioned about tracking and just like Skydio too, you don't have to dig down in a menu; it's just there on the top screen. Do you think that's maybe? Do you think they looked at the Skydio app at when it came out late last year, and that's something that they maybe said, well, we should incorporate that in our new app?
No.
You think that's been on the table for them for a while? It's Skydio beat them to the punch and putting it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, it's kind of a watered down version of Skydio's version, but I still welcome it. But
yes,
okay, again, agree with everything Marcus points out. Here's some of the things that maybe he didn't say. I love the HDR video, but I love the photos coming out too. And that smart photo feature is a real winner. It's much better than your typical HDR photo thing that you find on a lot of high-end smartphones, whatever. I mean, this takes a great, process image right off the camera for people that don't like the full with their computers. These photos are print worthy, right off the memory card. So I highly recommend using the smart photo feature for most of your photos on the Mavic Air too. And I like the compact kit, Flymore kit. It is small bag. Everything. I can't say everything's there. I don't have the charging equipment in here, but when I go out in the field, I have everything I need in the field out here, minus the charging equipment. Light, compact. What I like this side handle here. If you're not a strap guy like Brian Singleton, you have this little handle here, which makes it perfect to pull in and out trunks of cars and hatches and so on. So the case, the photos, and I had another point or two here, and I've already kind of forgot them. I'm sorry, people. I got jockeying around with Marcus on that the follow me stuff, and I kind of lost. I think I had a good point or two that I liked about it, but I'm going to throw it over the bill rather than keep stuttering here.
Well, if you think of them, Ron, let me know, but I'll go through mine, and I'm going to do a little show and tell here, okay? And these aren't in any order, okay? The controller for this, okay? It was sheer genius on DJI's part to give you a controller with the look and the feel of the smart controller because it holds in the hands so well. I mean, it's a natural position. It's just absolutely great. And what the second thing, my second thing is this, okay? A lot of people, think about the antenna here, guys, okay? There's no more having to flip down when you're going away, flip up when you're up, okay? This takes care of it here, okay? So this is my second thing is the way they did this antenna. I absolutely love it. I think it was DJI just kind of hit a home run on this because you don't have to mess around with this anymore. And, as a side note, and I would put this with my first one is, having the cables stowed in here and not have to worry about it, okay? it's just I think it's just absolutely fantastic for those of you guys who don't have it yet. That's where the cable is stored, and this is all in a nice, neat pouch. Again, that's my first two. One of the other ones that I really like on this, okay, it's the runtime on this. I can't say enough about it because, as you know, I've done quite a few hyperlapse videos, and I know Ron and Marcus know when you're doing hyperlapses, that is a battery eater. Okay, that eats up a tremendous amount of power on your drone. And here I am. I did that hyperlapse of the sunset, and I was able to, I did a lap around the lake. I switched it out of, when it was done with hyperlapse, it was in normal mode. I did a lap around the lake, and I landed. I still had like about 35% battery left after that. Okay. And that was like a 15-minute hyperlapse. All right. So, I mean, that has constantly impressed me how well that takes that. And I have to agree. I think it was Ron talked about, I was going to say the smart picture. Okay. That was just, I've taken several of them. I've used mostly the back of my house, but I just absolutely loved it because everything looked very crisp, very clear. Like the detail on it. I mean, it was like we have orange seat cushions on our patio furniture outside. The orange really popped on it. I mean, you could see it. I mean, it just jumped out at you. So it was like, wow, that was really there. So that, that smart feature, that's something else that I really, really like. Another one is, and I got to say this, is the DJI Fly app. All right. And the reason I say the DJI Fly app is this they may have taken something, the Go 4 app, and they've condensed it to something that is, it's what I call, it's between a total beginner and somebody who is an experienced drone pilot. Okay. It's you're not a newbie anymore, but you've gone up a level. And I think that's what they did with the Mavic Air too. You can find things, the ability to find things on this has been absolutely, positively fantastic. I mean, it's self-intuitive. It's very easy to navigate through. I've had no issues with it whatsoever. And I think for me, one of the other things is this, when I had it, one of my favorite things is having it in sport mode. Okay. And it's going to do this. Okay. That the drone is going to take a little bit of an angle down when it's going into sport mode. But I got to say this, I did that test, the sport mode around the lake. I got it up to about 42, I think, miles per hour. And there was, except for the initial going down, that was it. That gimbal was rock steady. And that was a huge improvement over the original Mavic Air. All right. Now, conversely here, if you don't have 5, but that's fine. Things that you don't like about the Mavic Air 2. I know I'm going to put these guys on a hot seat right now.
Well, I only really have, well, I'm going to call it 3. 2 of them I don't like. One of them is a wish.
Okay. Well, that'll work.
Yeah. So, and Bill, you and I, you know what I'm going to say. It's the stupid white lettering at the top of the app, so that if you're looking at the sky, you can't see what your battery reading is. You can't read any of that telemetry. DJI, please just change the color. It can't be that tough.
Right, and that's more of a knock on the app than is the drone.
Yeah. That's true. Very true. Yeah, I guess the next one isn't really the drone either, and that's the bag. Hey, Ron, if you can hold your bag up there, so I think it folds the wrong way. The flap, it seems like it should go the opposite direction, and it's very awkward the way that opens up. So you can see where the zippers are. It feels like it should fold from the bottom up, but the way he does it now, you can see there. You got to kind of pull that over, and it's hard to get that open. And that is very nitpicky. I absolutely know that. The other thing that I was thinking of is I wish the drone had 360 obstacle avoidance, because the tracking is and the tracking and APAS are so good on that drone. if it had 360, it would be phenomenal.
Let me stop you just for a second. Keep that train of thought, though. How much more money would you be willing to pay for the 360 obstacle avoidance?
Another $87.34.
Okay,
that's my limit, Ron.
But point being is they had to get the 799. They had to shave stuff off. If they wanted to charge $100 more, $200 more, I'm sure it would have been there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I got one more, and Ted Bowman reminded me of that. I wish we had adjustments for the gimbal and the yaw.
Good ones.
That's it. I'm done, Ron.
I'm gonna just steal it for just a second, Ron. Our good friend Cliff Totten said no picture controls, contrast, saturation, and sharpness. Okay, so that's thank you, Cliff.
That's a good point, Cliff. But again, kind of like the other thing that Marcus brought up, that's more of an app issue than.
Yeah, that's more of an app issue. Yeah. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah. And I want to go out to my good friend Brian Singleton. I didn't say I necessarily like the bag. I'm kind of neutral in the bag. I don't like it, dislike it. But I mean the compact size of it. My Mavic 2 Pro case is more than twice the size of this. So no matter what you put it in, well, I mean, I guess you could put the world's biggest case. But my point is, it's more compact to travel with than the Mavic 2 Pro. Whether you use this case or another small case. Cons, like I said, I don't really have a major con. I agree with both Mark's and Cliff's thing, but that's more of an app thing, so I'm not going to beat the drum. If you want me to talk about my major cons for Fly app, I got a big list, but I'm going to stick to the drone here. I guess the only thing, the small things. Yeah, I wish it worked with the smart controller, but it will. It doesn't prevent me from having a good time and flying it at all. And and I always have these points, and I get to them. I'm just forgetting them tonight. So that's about it. Which works smart controller, no big deal. It will eventually. And it was another firmware update we're waiting for. Mark, help me out. What's the other firmware update?
Smart controller.
What's the second one? After that one, we want to see something.
Probably for the gimbal.
The gimbal, yeah. I'm sorry, folks. I have all this stuff, but when it gets around to me, it's just going out of my head. So I'm going to throw it over the bill so I don't mumble and stumble around here.
No, I'm gonna. You know what? And I'll tell you what. And Ron, if you think of them, you can feel free after to interject here at any time. Number one, I agree with Marcus. That font on that app is just a killer. Okay, and that goes with the Mini too, because it's on the Mini. So. DJI, that's a real simple change. Just do it. Like Nike said, just do that. Okay. I know this is a personal preference for me. Okay. Now I'll tell you what. This gimbal cover, and I know you guys are okay with it. It's a real pain in the butt for me. Okay. Because I'll tell you what, the Mavic 2 Pro, a lot of people had problems with the Mavic 2 Pro. That was a piece of cake for me. This is a pain in the butt. All right, I'm gonna be upfront about it. All right.
Can I give you a little secret, Bill?
Yes.
You just slide it straight in. Don't try and hook those top two things.
Okay.
Slide it straight in.
Okay. I will try that next time I do that. It just seems to me it's just like, okay, I'm just for me. I'm like, oh man, this is just a real pain in the butt. And I got to go, one of the other ones is that flipping case. Okay. It's not only for the reason that Marcus said, because it should open the other way. That's the natural way. I don't know why they do it backwards like that, but everything is packed in there so tight. Okay. It could, because for us, we'd throw it in the back seat of our car in the back hatch. We're going to fly, whatever kind of a thing. Okay. And that stuff, it's so compact, something could happen with that. I mean, I'm just a little, it's just one of those things for me that for me, I think they should have probably made, a little bit of an extra investment, put a little bit more room in there, or maybe a little bit more cushioning or something. Cause it's just so absolutely flipping tight in there. I really think that. I also agree on the 360 obstacle avoidance. I would probably pay another $100 for that. All right. I'm gonna up Marcus on that one. All right. I'll probably pay 100, but seriously, having that. And now here's the thing with this. Okay. And this is the thing on the Mavic 2 series, a lot of times, depending upon, it's only that 360 is only active in certain modes. Okay. It's not active all the time. All right. So I think, that's something that they need to work on going forward, is when they say 360, there should be a way to be able to engage it all the time when you're flying, okay? Or shut it off, or say shut the sides off, or shut the front and back off, or top and bottom. There should be a way to do that. There should be a way to toggle that. Now, I expect maybe we'll see something like that on a future Mavic series. I don't know, but that's going forward. And I would say probably like one of the last things is right now is there's been a lot of confusion, and there was, especially for me, and I know people have railed at me in the comments and stuff about ADS-B. All right. Now, my instances have been, I see it on the map, I hit the thing, it's not there, I expand nothing. Okay. And then I hear a plane and I hear nothing, and I've gone through the comments and I've talked about it with people and stuff, and I've sent it to DJI. They keep saying their team is looking at it, and I'm waiting to hear back from that. But I think they need to kind of clarify that. Go ahead, Marcus.
CL Tech just posted a video today or yesterday where he shows exactly what you're describing, Bill.
Okay.
And I don't know if I want to call it a close call, but it was closer than you or I would ever want to be. He literally moves the camera up on the drone, and you see the aircraft. I mean, I don't know how far away it was. Like I said, it wasn't even a close call, but it was closer than you would ever want to be. And the ADS-B said nothing. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys see Lauren's comment here? He said adding 360 avoidance will cost a lot more than $100, require a stronger processor, etc. So, I mean, again, we're hoping for something that would, that wouldn't be on a drone under $1,000. I think is where this conversation's going.
So Lauren, will there be a drone coming anytime soon that has that? Lauren, can you give us any?
And I just want to, Bill made my point why the Mavic Air 2 is such a good drone. Look what his issues were. The case, which if you didn't get the Firmware kit, you would never know this case. The gimbal guard, which of course everybody sees that, but you're not really talking about the drone itself. You're more like talking about accessories. So that's a great thing. And I know what I want to talk about, and I'm just like you, Bill. I'm talking about something that's accessory that if you didn't order the Firmware kit, you wouldn't even know this. The ND filters you get with it, they give you a 16, a 64, and a 256. And the 16 is it's like the darkest 16 ND filter I own. And so the other two are going to be almost useless unless you are in some kind of special scenario where you're flying into the sun or whatever. Well, the 256 is for slow shutter photography, like trying to get the motion blur and waterfall, stuff like that. But even the 16 is too dark in most situations. They really cheat us out. We should have got like an 8, a 16, and a 32. So basically, they gave us ND filters, but we still need to go out and get the ND filters we really need because they only give us one ND filter of any real use, and it's too dark. So, but again, it's not really the drone. It's an accessory issue or a packaging with the Firmware kit. So, physically with the drone, I mean, I have almost no place. Somebody mentioned the gimbal in there, and we know it has an issue where if you're flying, people say if you're flying in sport mode, and I'm putting this into the wind, it forces the gimbal to go, face down towards the ground more. I have the same issue with the Mavic 2 Pro. So I just think that's I don't know if there's something they can be fixed except to build a bigger drone with a stronger gimbal on or whatever, or don't fly in any wind, or don't fly in sport mode. So that's small con, but I don't think there's anything they could have really did about that.
Well, it's real interesting here how, our likes were, and this is real interesting, okay? Because I listened to what all three of us had to say, and we were kind of focused on the drone and on the controller for our likes, okay? And our dislikes, like you said, Ron, and this is a great point, they're not really related to the drone or the controller. Okay, where it's like the app, the bag, the gimbal guard cover, extemporaneous things that aren't really the drone. So I think to sum this all up, I mean, for all of us, I mean, I think we're kind of in agreement. This has been for the three of us, it's been a great experience. It really has.
Let me sum it up. DJI got the hardware right in this one.
Yes. That Ron just nailed it right there. They did. They got the hardware right. Let's work on some software here, guys. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we need to kind of up the ante here as far as the software is concerned. So
we need one of these giant firmware updates to come out that does more than just bug fixes.
Yes.
And thank you, Jaybird. We just got a super chat.
Yes, Jaybird, thank you very much. And I wanted to acknowledge some people that showed up tonight, and I want to thank them. I normally do this before, but we're here at the end of the show. But Jaybird was here tonight. Brian was here. Cigar Nation Warriors. Ian Fleming. Stephen Fox. Lauren was here tonight. Let's see who else was here. Darren Kay. Ian Fleming. Sally was here tonight. Thank you, Sally. Of course, Cliff was here. Ed Kursiak, Darren Kay, Sam Burns was here, Stephen Fox, I know Stephen Ewing was here, Michael Wright was here tonight. Just going through the chat, I want to make sure that I kind of like get people tonight that have been here. I know Ted was here tonight. Thank you, Ted, for stopping by. Had a good show tonight. This was really good. And I think I think this was a good, especially giving you guys, this list. I mean, it kind of cements for all three of us that this was a no-brainer decision in getting the Mavic Air 2. And well, like last night, it kind of floored me that Sally didn't have it yet, but she's really looking forward to it. And I try to pass on some tips and suggestions to her. She didn't know about the one, charging the batteries, not in the multi-charger, but charging them one at a time. So I got her that tip.
Marcus has a point.
Go for it.
Well, I just want to kind of pile on what you were just saying, Bill. So here's what I'll say. If somebody tomorrow said, Marcus, you can only have one drone, I wouldn't even have to think about it. I'd say the Mavic Air 2. And in fact, I will say, regardless of price, it's probably the best drone I've ever purchased. Now, there's other drones that may do certain things better. No question about it. The Skydio, for instance. But as far as an all-around drone, video, photography drone, it's the best one I've ever owned.
Well, Bill, I'm going to put you in a spot again tonight. You're Bill, the drone reviewer. Will you certify this Mavic Air 2 as a Bill the Drone Reviewer approved drone?
It is a Bill the Drone Reviewer approved drone.
Well, I got a list going of all the drones, say you'd be approved. So you would recommend this drone. If somebody came up, family, friends, loved ones that trust you, you would wholeheartedly give them the recommendation on this.
Absolutely.
Any reservations?
But one thing, and this is one thing, and I think this is probably more for people along our lines and our experience with drones, and not, I would say, not beginner hobbyists or middle hobbyists, people that have been flying drones for a while, okay? Understand something. Understand that the sensor in this guy, okay, is not the sensor in this guy, in the Mavic 2 Pro, okay? This became very apparent to me when I did my hyperlapse video of the sunset. And I think you guys know, and just for me, I don't do a lot of posts. I don't do a lot of, I do some, but I don't do a lot. But I had to do it when I did the Mavic Air 2 with the hyperlapse sunset, because it doesn't allow that low light capture. And one of the things where it became, and I think this may have actually sold Ron on the Mavic 2 Pro, was when we were at the beach and he was flying his Mavic Pro. I was flying my Mavic 2 Pro, and he was looking at his screen and how dark it was. And it wasn't because of his iPad, okay, or his phone. It was because of the sensor in the Mavic Pro. And he looked at mine and he's like, wow. And I think Ron, I think that made your decision for you. Am I right?
What a strong that was a strong push to it that was it was so much better in low light than my Mavic Pro 1 was. And just thinking you had smart controller that night in the beach, could even see it better.
Yeah, I didn't have my smart controller. I did it with my iPad that night. So,
but you still convinced me to order my Mavic 2 Pro to forgo the regular controller and just go straight to the smart controller.
Absolutely.
My Mavic Pro never been flown with anything but smart controller.
Smart controller. And I'm so glad. And Ron, and you know what? I'm so glad that you stuck it out, because I know first on when you had it, you were having issues. And I think it was you were having some Wi-Fi issues and stuff.
Well, I couldn't get the upgrade or whatever, but and DJI wasn't a great help to me on that. I kind of watched a few videos and pieced together my solution or whatever. So but ever since then it's been rock solid. And of course we talked about the issue with the Go 4 app doesn't update as quickly as people that have it on their phones or whatever. But that's a small price to pay, because anymore the Go 4 app, it's not like they have any earth-shaking updates anyways. They're mostly bug fixes anymore anyways. When's the last time an important feature got added to the Go 4 app? And to me, things like the drone database stuff are important features. It hasn't really got any real knockout features for a long time. So
absolutely,
you see where I'm going with this.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's do closings here, Marcus, Ron, and then I'll wrap things up.
Just want to tell everybody, hey, let's focus on the good things that we have. We can fly drones. The weather's getting better, and so forth. Be kind to your neighbors. Everybody's under a lot of stress right now, with not just with the pandemic, people out of work, etc., and all the other stuff that's going on. Let's all make a big effort. Be kind to your neighbors. Get out and fly those drones and have fun. Ron?
Thank you, Marcus. Yes, I hope everybody's safe out there too. These are troubling times for many reasons, and we're not going to go into them, here. This is to kind of get away from all those troubles. I just want to do a couple promos. I don't think we mentioned last week, Marcus, but next week on Xeno Nation, we got the great Al Duran back on with us again. Al's got some stories. I think he's had another drone crash since the last time we've had one on the show. So it's going to be another great episode. And right after this show, I've dropped the link in the chat. Links are in the chat. I'm going to go live with Michael from Philly Drone, and we're going to have a big show tonight. We probably have big-time guests and promotions and whatever like we usually do, so make sure to hop over there after this show if you still want to hear about drones. If not, you can turn the news on and get yourself depressed for the next hour. And don't forget, I'm going tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be on Bill Thomas's Coast to Coast Drones Drone Therapy show with John Coopy, Ethan Mitchell, and we got Danny Tomas, I believe I'm saying his name right, as our guest tomorrow night. So it should be a good show. So with that being said, I just put a video up recently where I was showing how to take the any video or pictures that go on the Mavic Air 2's internal 8 gigabytes of storage and get that off and onto your computer. With Marcus's help, he kind of got me started on the process a couple nights ago when I went to the beach, and I forgot to format my memory card before I flew, so I ran out of a space near the end. But I got a little video on how to get that off, because all my time flying the Mavic 2 Pro, Bill, I've never ever had to rely.
Really?
I've never had to rely on that. External
on the internal storage.
On this flight I did Saturday night, I took all HD. I think all my video was HDR video, which probably is a considerably bigger file than normal videos. That's probably why I ran out of space. And the big reason is because I forgot to. I don't think I've ever formatted the memory card. I think every photo and video I've taken since I got it on there, so it's formatted now. So I'm ready for a fresh flight now. But check that video out if you're interested in that. I just posted it a couple hours ago, and I got a video coming up soon where I'm taking the pictures. I'm big on a smart picture photo. So I'm comparing what a regular photo looks like compared to the smart photo. I'm going to have a lot of side by sides or whatever, and you're going to see how much better the smart photos in the same exact photo just taken without any in-camera processing by the algorithm of the smart photo thing. So I've talked way too much. I'm going to throw it back to Bill. And good night, everybody. I want to thank everybody for going to chat. I'm actually going to scoot out of here. I take a little 5-minute break before I start filling my show. Thanks for having me on, Bill. Always great.
Thank you, Ron, for showing up tonight. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and thanks for being on our show last night, for providing that information. And I will see you guys on the next one.
Sounds good. All right. Well, I'm gonna kind of echo Marcus and what he said. And I know you've heard this from me before, guys. We're going through. There's just so much crap we're all going through right now. And here's Mr. Rogers' 3 words for success: be kind, be kind, and be kind. Okay, that's what we all need right now. It's just there's just too much going on. And enjoy flying your drones. It's an escape for Ron, for Marcus, and myself. And I know for all you guys, that's why you watch. And that's why, we're all hobbyists at heart. Even if we do some things professionally, we all love to go fly our drones. And that's the message I want to pass on to you guys. Weather's getting nicer. Let's get these birds out and, get them up in the air and enjoy them. And, the other thing I wanted to say is this too. If you had a chance to watch, and I know a lot of you do, I know Marcus and I watched, and my wife and I watched, SpaceX with Dragon, and Americans are back in space, guys. That is a bright light. That is something that we can kind of say with pride. The Americans are back in space right now, guys. It's phenomenal, and it's American technology with an American company. We can have some pride in that. So if you want to have some pride, that's what to have some pride in. Billy Kyle will be here next Monday. He did confirm with me, so we're going to do Monday at 7:00. And Tuesday at 8 o'clock, I have a VIP from DJI. I can't tell you who this is because I haven't confirmed 100%, but he has not been on the show before. You are going to really like him. He is pretty high up with DJI. So I think you guys are really going to want to tune in. Want to just pass on to everybody else. Remember, it's a great day to fly, guys. Take care, and we'll catch you next time.